Welcome back to the Backyard Cyclist. Today we're going to go over what's coming up in 2023. Hey all, I'm Brian, your Backyard Cyclist, and I've loved riding bikes since forever. Before we get started, I'd like to ask you to please subscribe to my channel. It doesn't cost you anything, and it really helps me out. Now you may have noticed something just a little bit different. And that's because after I shot the video the first time around, I realized I had some audio issues and I forgot to turn the light on for the last few segments. So now I have to reshoot the video. I know, I haven't released a talking video in a while, and I'm going to fix that this year. Last year was a hodgepodge of videos just trying to find out what I'm comfortable with. So this year I'm going to focus more on form over quantity. This means probably not as many uploads, but hopefully they'll be better. So what will I be filming this year? Well, my hill climbs challenge, ride videos, personal progress videos, and some maintenance actually from the backyard. One new segment I'm calling the Cafe Ride will feature rides to various coffee shops, talking about either a specific topic or the ride in the coffee shop itself. I already have 4 planned for this year, so there's going to be some coffee content. I'm also going to focus more on my health this year, because A, I've let myself go and need accountability, and 2, I'm not the only one out there in my condition, so my journey may be helpful to you too. Last year saw a not too bad return to form, but the latter part of the year did have some problems. My back still isn't feeling right, so I think this is going to be a factor for the foreseeable future. For those of you new to the channel, back in June 2020, I suffered a compression fracture to my 12th thoracic vertebra, the T12. And I lost about 3 months of training while in a back brace. Since then, I've pretty much healed, but I still have some nagging problems every now and then. And while I was off the bike, I gained a little weight. And that's been kind of hard to take off. Call it depression or lack of motivation, I haven't really felt the need to get back to my usual ways. While this hasn't been a problem on the bike, it still affects me off the bike. But it's nothing I can't take care of, so it's not a showstopper. And late last year, I got hit with COVID. Not once, but twice in a 3-month span. I've been vaxxed and boosted, so both times I had it, it felt like a flu rather than a serious illness. But it did take its toll on my endurance, and I had to scale back my training. Given my performance over the last 2 years at the Rampo Rally, it almost feels like I'm starting from scratch. That's not such a bad thing. One of the first things I'm going to do this year is take an FTP test at the end of February, just to see where I'm at. I kind of did one last year, and I gained 1 watt, so I'm curious to see where I am now. Really, it's all just relative because I don't have a power meter, so I just rely on my cadence sensor and my speed sensor and Zwift to give me my power numbers. Not really accurate, but it does give me a range to where I am. Now the Hill Climbs Challenge is going to be a little bit different this year. Instead of going all out and trying to beat my times from 5 years ago, I figured the first thing I'll do is set a baseline and then try to beat that baseline by the end of the season. I'm still going to keep the same hills in, but I'm only going to do probably about 3 at a time. I'll still be recording ride videos and posting them somewhat regularly. These will include the cafe ride videos, the unedited hill climb attempts, and the training and casual rides I do. I'll be including bike path and gravel rides too on my Trek mountain bike, so it's not just going to be road rides this year. I'll also be doing some maintenance videos on both the road and the mountain bike, just so you can get a little more comfortable in doing your own maintenance. As far as bikes go, I finally got the Trek in good condition. I had to replace the crank arm that came with it because it was the wrong kind. And I also replaced the pedals just because the mismatched pedals didn't look that great. I recabled it all and cleaned and lubed what needed to be cleaned and lubed. I also got new pedals for it because the mismatched ones really didn't look that good. Speaking of pedals, I decided to change over from SPDSLs to speed plates on the road bike. For various reasons, I'm just not comfortable on SPDs anymore. And since I've always wanted to try speed plate pedals, I figured it's not a bad time to change. I've seen a few YouTube videos about speed plate-like pedals from AliExpress, and I searched them up there and ordered a pair. Long story short, they never arrived. They actually ended up somewhere in New Mexico. Both AliExpress and the seller weren't helpful at all. Thankfully, PayPal was able to help, and I got a refund after opening up a dispute with them. I found a nice pair of used speed plates on eBay and ordered them. I also made a video of converting my bike and my shoes over to it. So you can check that one out after this one. Thanks again for tuning in. If you liked this video or found it helpful, please like it and subscribe. I'm supporting the JDRF again this year, so make sure you click through the link in the description to make a donation. And remember, we can't make it to the finish line without you. What's wrong with me?